All right, we have been looking at data in this environmental science unit, and so far we've been looking at the data that we collected in two separate pieces, but sometimes there are connections in there. So we're going to look at something called analyzing bivariate data. Bivariate is kind of a combination word. The bi in there, like in bicycle, means two. And vary sounds like variable, and so this is just two variable data, so two different variables that are connected in some way. And so one way to represent bivariate data is in something called a two-way table. This is an example of a two-way table, and I'm just going to kind of talk about how it works, how you read from that so that you can build your own or read things from future ones. Okay, so to start out with, let me just kind of highlight a couple of things as we go on this question. The 75, so the first question here says, what does the 75 represent? Well, the 75 is to the right of the female and below hybrid. So my table here is about genders of students and what method of instruction they are on. So this is something familiar to us right now. You've been having to declare that for next semester anyway. So I've got female students and male students, and they're either in hybrid instruction or they're in remote instruction. And so this 75 is both female and hybrid. So this represents the females on the hybrid schedule. And I probably won't keep writing schedule throughout all of this thing, or students or things like that. I'll kind of abbreviate and go along there. So the 75 represents the females on the hybrid schedule. The 64 is the males on the hybrid schedule. The 19 is males on the remote schedule, just so we can kind of follow those things around. The next thing here it asks me is how many total students are represented in this table. Well, I've got 75 females on the hybrid, 64 males. It's basically going to be adding all of these numbers together. And to save time, I did some of this ahead of time. That is 170 exactly on there. So we have 170 students that are summarized in here. So this might be just students for one particular teacher. Okay. In this next part here, it says 75 plus 12 is equal to 87. So here's the 75, here's the 12. When we add those together, we get 87. What are there 87 of? Well, both of those numbers are across from the female here, so this is our total number of females. So there are a total of 87 females represented in the data here. What percentage of the students are female? Well, we have a total of 87 females out of 170 possible students. So if we do 82 divided by 170, we get like 0.512 approximately. So converting that to a percentage, that is about 51.2% of the students that are females. Okay. Let's see, how many students are remote? Okay, well, here is remote here, and this represents all of the remotes, so that should be the 12 remote females plus the 19 remote males is a total of 31 remote students. Let's see, our next one here, what percentage are hybrid and male? So if we want the students that are hybrid and male, well, here's the hybrids, here's the male. That looks like there are 64 students that are hybrid and male out of 170 total students. And we put that into a calculator, and it comes out to about 37.6%. Okay. You should probably check that on your own calculator, make sure you know how to do that calculation and convert it from a decimal into a percent. Question number 7, what percentage are either hybrid or female? So we want everybody that is hybrid, that's this here, these are all the hybrids, and we want everybody that is female, these are all the females, but we definitely, we need to count the 75 female hybrid students, but we only need to count them once, so this should be 75 plus 12 plus 64, which is 151 students. So it basically counts everybody except for the males that are remote. Okay, so that word or versus the word and here. Okay. And finally, we're going to look at one more on this. What percentage of the males are remote? Okay, so what percentage of the males? So we need the total number of males. Here are the males that are remote, but we're only talking about the males. So there are 19 males that are remote, but that's not out of 170 because there aren't 170 males. There's 64 plus 19, which is 83. So 19 out of the 83 male students are on a remote schedule, and as a percentage, that's about 22.9%. All right. This is just a sample of some of the questions that I could ask from this. I asked 8 questions off of just 4 numbers in this table, and I could ask a lot more than that. But I wanted you to be familiar with how you find your way around the table and the kinds of questions that they might be asking you in this situation.